Hello, my name's Kirsty Traeger and I have suffered from depression, or as some of you here today would call me, I am a consumer. What a way to introduce yourself. I don't think many people would meet someone and start off by saying I've suffered from depression, but that's all part of my story, and something that I'm really excited and passionate about is to speak openly about my experience with mental illness to be able to help other people. Don't worry, I'm focusing less on my mental illness today and more about this amazing project that I've been a part of called Mentally Fit EP. I wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself and my journey, and I thought that I would do that by showing you 3 pictures that I think explains my experience with mental health. What we're going to do before we get too far in, I want to start introducing some of this terminology. What do we mean by a mentally fit EP? What is our aim? And that starts with understanding what we actually mean by mental fitness. So what I wanted to do is show these 3 pictures of me, and what I want you to do is to have a look at the photos and see if you can guess in which photo I'm mentally fit, which photo I'm mentally well, and which photo I'm mentally unwell. I'm guessing that it would be really hard to tell by thinking. But before I actually tell you which one's which, I actually thought that we could talk a little bit more about the terminology and what each means, because that might help you to see when you're looking at the photos. So if we think about mental health, I see it now in my eyes as a continuum, and at one end we have what it means to be mentally fit. In the centre we have what it means to be mentally well, which I believe a large majority of the population is in the mentally well end of the spectrum, and then at the other end we have what it is to be mentally ill. So for me, my understanding based on my experience and things since I've been unwell is that, like I said, most of us fit into the mental well, where, you know, we have jobs, and we would probably say to people if they ask that we are happy with our life. We have jobs that we enjoy, we have relationships in our life that we enjoy, and I guess we'd say that we're fit and we're happy. But I guess deep down, if we dig a little bit deeper and we actually think about how happy we are, some people in this mentally well, which is what I was like before I got sick, would actually say that they have self-confidence issues, that they worry about what people think, that they aren't very assertive. Some of these people might be high achievers like I was, and even though they believe that their life is happy, they might not necessarily be happy in the relationship with themselves, and they don't necessarily know what they can do to keep mentally fit or to stop illness from coming. At the other end we have what it means to be mentally ill, which I'm sure a lot of you here today understand if you're in the mental health. I think a lot of our services and a lot of our talk in society has been about mental illness and the pointy end, as we like to think about it. So mental illness for me is suffering from illnesses such as depression and anxiety, and there's a whole heap of other things under that umbrella. In my eyes, mentally ill now means to be really unhappy in yourself and your life, so much so that normal things that you take for granted become a daily struggle, like getting out of bed, attending work. It affects all the relationships in your life as well. So that in my head is what mental illness means. And then mental fitness, this thing that we're talking about in our project, for me is all about, I guess it's in society we know a lot about physical fitness and how to keep fit by exercising and eating healthy, but for me mental fitness is, I think the brain is a really important part of our body, and it's something that sometimes we don't understand how we can exercise and how we can feed our brain, and that goes from not only the things that we put in our mouth, as our stomach is the thing that feeds our brain, but also the thoughts that we have inside of our head, how we can learn to swap or change unhelpful thoughts with helpful thoughts, how we can learn meditation and yoga and build that relationship with ourselves that is so important. And to me, that's what mental fitness is all about. So now that you have a little bit more of an understanding, I know that's very brief, about the different terms, I want you again to have a look at the pictures of me and to see in which photo you think that I might be mentally well, which photo you think I might be mentally ill, and which photo you think that I might be mentally fit. And see if you can decide based on that little bit of extra information or this new perception.